And this man has been with me and everybody else doing the same thing with everybody else. And I don't know how to brush it off anymore, because it's like, what if, what if this is the person who did this to me and he's living his best life?
What's going on? Losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great.
Brought you on to speak on Diddy, and it seemed that as if your focus turned to Jay-Z, his wife.
That's always been my focus. They're one and the same.
Jaguar Wright just dragged Beyoncé into another major PR storm after making a shocking, unverified claim about Beyoncé's private health. But right now, there's no solid public evidence proving that claim, so the rumor needs to be treated as exactly that, an allegation. Still, the internet quickly connected it to older stories claiming Beyoncé may have crossed paths with some of the same controversial celebrity circles that have been making headlines. Things got even messier after Diddy's alleged private party world became a huge topic online. Beyoncé's name started getting tossed into the conversation, with social media users pushing all kinds of theories involving her, Jay-Z, and supposed behind-the-scenes business connections. Again, those claims remain disputed and shouldn't be presented as confirmed facts. Then attorney Ariel Mitchell entered the conversation with claims involving an alleged recording reportedly being offered around to media outlets. Online speculation quickly tried linking Beyoncé's name to that story, even though speculation is not proof. And that's where this situation gets seriously messy. The rumors, legal claims, and internet theories have all started blending together, so we're breaking down what was actually said and what remains unverified.
Some very, very close people that are watching, and they're pissed because of the simple fact that they don't have any leverage anymore. They have no more leverage. They can't say Orlando's on.
Even before Jaguar Wright jumped into the conversation with her allegations, Beyoncé's private health had already become the target of some seriously heated online rumors. Orlando Brown previously made a shocking and completely unverified claim about her health, and the internet wasted no time running with it. But there's no credible public evidence confirming that claim, so it shouldn't be treated as fact. The speculation picked up even more steam, because Beyoncé's name had already been mentioned online, alongside Diddy's controversial celebrity circle. Then, another story suddenly went viral. During an interview with Shannon Sharpe, DaBaby described a private meeting that he said took place at Diddy's house involving Beyoncé and Jay-Z. According to DaBaby's account, he originally went there expecting a business meeting, but once he arrived, he claimed everyone else was asked to leave, leaving only DaBaby, Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Diddy in the room. That small detail immediately had people online trying to figure out what might have been happening behind closed doors. According to DaBaby's story, once only the four of them were left in the room, Beyoncé reportedly walked over and started making casual conversation with him. That small detail immediately had people online trying to figure out what might have been happening behind closed doors. But this is where the rumors get especially reckless.
What are your thoughts on Ariel then? She comes on last as a lawyer for one of the Diddy accusers. She actually backs
She corroborated the fact that she saw the very videotapes that I said were about to be sold right here on this couch just a couple months. Why is everyone so late?
Beyoncé's private health has become the subject of serious online speculation, simply because her name has been connected to other celebrities facing controversies. That connection alone doesn't prove anything. There is no credible public evidence confirming the health claims being made about Beyoncé, Diddy, Jay-Z, Rihanna, or the other people being pulled into these viral stories. The gossip got even louder when claims involving a billionaire, Rihanna, and the billionaire's former assistant began circulating online. Jaguar Wright later added her own allegations involving Rihanna, Chris Brown, and Jay-Z, tying them to the highly publicized 2009 incident. But those claims remain allegations, not established facts. With so many famous names getting thrown into the same story, social media quickly turned separate controversies into one massive web of speculation.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib. Like the influx of people, he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
Then another explosive story started making the rounds after reports surfaced about a mysterious $10 million lawsuit allegedly connected to Rihanna. The unidentified person behind the filing was rumored online to be Chris Brown, and the lawsuit reportedly included dramatic claims about a private health dispute and the infamous 2009 incident. But that rumored identity and the accusations surrounding the filing were never something viewers should automatically treat as confirmed fact. So how did Gena even get pulled into this tangled celebrity story? According to claims circulating online, she reportedly went through an extremely difficult period while living in New York, and parts of her personal story later became mixed into the wider speculation surrounding Diddy. And because New York later became heavily mentioned in reporting and testimony surrounding Diddy's legal controversies, internet detectives immediately started connecting dots. From there, speculation took off fast. People online began trying to connect Gena's story to Diddy's wider social circle and alleged private gatherings, although there's no verified evidence establishing that connection. But there's a major difference between an online theory and verified evidence. Still, once these separate stories collided, Gena suddenly became another major name in an already complicated web of celebrity allegations. And since Diddy's health has become another major subject of online speculation, there's a new prison rumor making serious noise.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, maybe about 15 others,
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in
Right.
at the moment, and she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? And that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
According to claims reportedly shared with YouTuber Coach One Stack, an alleged confrontation with another inmate supposedly started after people inside the facility heard rumors about Diddy's private health and began taunting him over them. However, there's no credible public confirmation that these health claims are true. The story got even more dramatic when sources allegedly claimed Diddy had faced problems getting medication while behind bars. Online accounts tried connecting that rumor to other people previously associated with him, but those connections remain speculation, not verified evidence. Then there's the controversial book attributed to Kim Porter, which has repeatedly resurfaced during the Diddy conversation. Claims presented in that disputed book have fueled even more shocking stories about Diddy's past and his relationship with Usher during the period when Usher was reportedly around him as a young artist. However, the book's authenticity has been publicly challenged, making its sensational claims especially important to treat with caution. Interestingly, New York keeps popping up throughout these stories, which has led internet detectives to connect completely separate rumors involving Gena, Beyoncé, and Diddy. But there's no verified evidence proving those private health claims, and simply being connected to the same city or social circle doesn't establish anything. Going back to the disputed book attributed to Kim Porter, an alleged email connected to someone involved with its publication also circulated online. The email reportedly claimed the book contained stories about Diddy's private relationships, alleged recordings, health-related accusations, Usher, and a supposed confrontation involving Usher's mother. Those are explosive claims, but the book's authenticity has been challenged, so its contents shouldn't be treated as established fact. The Usher angle gained even more attention because he faced a lawsuit in 2017 involving allegations about a private health matter. The woman behind that case claimed she had not been informed beforehand and later sought medical testing after developing concerns. She also reportedly encountered online stories attempting to connect Usher's situation to Diddy.
Well, she was f***ing my boss and gave my boss chlamydia. He's a prince in Africa, and so he came out here back in right before that, they were f***ing around. I think she was, I don't know if it was Travis, I don't know who the f*** around was, but got dirty and got him dirty.
That connection, however, remains unverified speculation, and the internet quickly turned it into something much bigger. With all these private health rumors bouncing around online, Jaguar Wright's older comments about Beyoncé and Diddy suddenly started getting attention again. Some viewers argued that they should have listened to her earlier instead of instantly dismissing her. She even appeared on Piers Morgan and made serious allegations involving Jay-Z and Beyoncé, although those claims were disputed and should not be treated as proven facts. Meanwhile, the allegations surrounding Diddy continued to grow. In 2025, another anonymous plaintiff, identified as John Doe, reportedly filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy of exposing him to a serious health risk. According to the lawsuit, the man claimed he was working as a music industry intern in late 2014 when he attended an after-party allegedly hosted by Diddy. The plaintiff claimed that after having only a few drinks, he suddenly began feeling strange and believed something was seriously wrong. He said he later lost awareness of what was happening. According to his allegations, when he became conscious again, he believed Diddy may have been involved in an unwanted encounter with him. These are serious allegations contained in a lawsuit, not established findings of fact, and Diddy has denied allegations of misconduct against him. According to the anonymous plaintiff, his initial health screening reportedly came back negative. Months later, however, he claimed doctors diagnosed him with a serious medical condition. Once details of that lawsuit surfaced, social media users immediately began connecting it to the mountain of rumors surrounding Diddy and his alleged private parties. But those online connections are speculation, not proof that Diddy caused anyone's medical condition. The conversation then started pulling in unrelated celebrities who have publicly faced serious health issues over the years, including Magic Johnson, Eazy-E, and Craig Mack. However, grouping these cases together creates a misleading picture. Their individual medical histories do not prove there was some larger Hollywood connection, and Craig Mack's history with Bad Boy Records does not establish one either.
Why people keep talking about that, it was forever ago. They were both very young, and he had just had his first herpes outbreak from her giving him the herpes.
Ooh, my.
Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started for her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most sexually involved with, and that was Sean Carter.
As for Beyoncé and Gena, there is no credible public evidence establishing the private health rumors being circulated about them or claiming they received any condition from Diddy. Still, Jaguar Wright's allegations have kept the gossip moving online, with people continuing to debate what's documented, what's disputed, and what appears to be pure internet speculation. But there's another detail that changes the direction of this whole story. The biggest problem with these viral claims is how quickly separate events are being stitched together as if they automatically prove one another. A lawsuit involving Diddy, an old interview, or somebody appearing at the same party doesn't confirm the private health rumors being attached to Beyoncé or anyone else. And that matters because Jaguar Wright's comments have repeatedly been clipped, reposted, and mixed with older celebrity stories until it becomes difficult to tell where the original allegation even started. Some accounts present those clips like they're fresh evidence, while others add their own theories on top of them. That's a major difference viewers need to catch. Then you have Diddy's ongoing legal controversies, bringing even more attention to practically anyone who has crossed paths with him over the years. Photos, interviews, business meetings, and old party appearances are being dug back up and examined frame by frame. And once people started searching through that history, another set of celebrity connections began resurfacing that pushed the story in a completely different direction. And this is where those older connections become important. People started digging through archived interviews, event footage, and stories from former industry insiders, looking for anything that could explain how so many celebrities ended up crossing paths with the same powerful circles. But appearing at an event or knowing the same executives doesn't prove involvement in anyone else's alleged misconduct. One thing that did stand out was how differently some insiders described the entertainment scene behind closed doors. Over the years, former employees, artists, and associates have told stories about exclusive gatherings where access was tightly controlled and powerful names moved in completely different spaces from everyone else. Some accounts describe ordinary networking events, while others make far more serious allegations that have never been independently verified.
So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from his celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was Jay-Z underage. Jay-Z gave her the herpes that she gave to Chris Brown. He gets in the car and started fighting on him because he embarrassed her for calling her a and saying in front of everybody that she gave him the herpes.
That distinction is getting lost as old clips resurface. A person could mention attending one industry party, and suddenly social media posts connect them to completely separate allegations years later. Now people are going back through timelines, comparing who worked together, who attended which events, and who publicly distanced themselves afterward. And one particular group of old industry stories started getting pulled back into the spotlight. And those resurfaced industry stories opened up a completely different angle. Instead of focusing on shocking private health rumors, people began looking at the business relationships surrounding Diddy and asking who actually had access to his inner circle. Former collaborators, employees, artists, and executives suddenly became part of the timeline as old interviews started making the rounds again. But there's a catch. Social media timelines can make casual connections look far deeper than they really were. A photograph at an awards show, a studio session, or an appearance at the same event doesn't automatically mean two celebrities were close behind the scenes. That's why some of the viral evidence needs serious context before anyone treats it like a smoking gun. What's more interesting are the first-hand accounts that can actually be traced back to interviews, court filings, or statements from people who say they were present. Even then, an allegation is still an allegation, unless evidence backs it up.
So y'all know I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today I got a message about an interview that I should watch. And this interview happened to include a celebrity man that I was sexy with for a few years. And I actually had films for this person. And let's just say this interview put a very bad light on this person.
And as people started separating those documented accounts from recycled internet gossip, attention shifted toward former associates who had spoken publicly about Diddy's world long before his recent legal problems. One of those older accounts raised a very different question about what insiders supposedly witnessed behind closed doors. That question sent people straight back to interviews from former bad boy associates who had spoken about the label's intense environment years before the current legal drama. Some described a world where loyalty mattered, access could disappear overnight, and powerful people controlled who got opportunities. Those accounts give useful context, but they still don't prove the more extreme rumors now being attached to every celebrity who crossed paths with Diddy. What really stands out is how old business disputes are being mixed with newer legal allegations. Artists have previously complained about contracts, money, publishing rights, and how they were treated while working around Bad Boy. Those are specific issues with their own history. Turning them into evidence for completely unrelated claims can distort what those former associates actually said. Then, investigators and reporters began examining a different kind of material: lawsuits, sworn allegations, public statements, and documented timelines. That creates a much clearer picture than random clips chopped up for social media. Even court filings only show what someone is alleging, unless those claims are proven.
Allegedly be a cuckold and all that stuff, but one day Diddy ain't no punk, and they said that another inmate, said some things to Diddy about his manhood and possibly his alleged STD. And hey, they said Diddy wrapped his hands around the boy's neck and started squeezing and got sent to the hole. But see, here's the thing, man. In a lot of prisons, you might get denied your special medication. And word on the street is, man, that he might be getting denied that special type of medication. It's already hard to get. You understand what I'm saying? Since he's locked up, but he can't, he can't get it.
But they can reveal dates and details that are actually on record. And one particular timeline started raising questions about who was around Diddy during several key periods. That timeline brought the focus back to something far more concrete: the people who actually worked around Diddy during different stages of his career. Instead of relying on random celebrity photos, people began comparing dates from public interviews, lawsuits, business records, and events to see which connections could genuinely be documented. And that's where things get tricky. Someone being present during a certain period doesn't mean they knew about, witnessed, or participated in any alleged misconduct. Assistants, producers, artists, security staff, and executives could all have completely different experiences despite working around the same person. So when old footage shows a familiar face nearby, it needs context before social media turns it into another dramatic theory. What does deserve attention are the people who later described specific experiences in their own words.
But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further, the mentors of these people.
Some former associates have spoken publicly about tense business relationships, unusual demands, or moments that made them uncomfortable, while others have described their interactions as strictly professional. Those accounts don't always match, which makes the timeline even more complicated. Then another question started emerging. If certain stories had supposedly been circulating inside the music business for years, when did people first begin speaking about them publicly? Digging into that question brought several much older interviews back into focus. Those older interviews added another layer because some industry figures had been hinting at uncomfortable experiences long before the recent lawsuits put Diddy under a microscope. Once those clips resurfaced, viewers started comparing the original interviews with newer allegations, looking for details that appeared to overlap. But timing alone doesn't mean an old comment predicted what would happen years later. Context matters here. Some clips being shared today are heavily edited, with only the most dramatic few seconds left in. Watch the full conversation, and the speaker may have been discussing business pressure, celebrity culture, or a completely different dispute. That can seriously change what the clip actually means. Still, a handful of former associates have given longer accounts describing what they personally claim to have experienced around powerful music industry circles. Those stories deserve to be separated from anonymous posts and viral theories, because at least viewers can trace who made the statement and when. Even then, serious accusations remain allegations unless they're supported by reliable evidence or established through legal proceedings. And while people were digging through those archives, they noticed something else. Several stories weren't coming from recent viral clips at all. Some had been sitting publicly in interviews for years, including one account that suddenly looked very different when placed beside the newer timeline. And that older account gave people something more specific to examine. Instead of another anonymous post making huge claims, viewers could actually compare what was said years ago with dates and events that later became public. Certain details appeared similar enough to catch attention, but similarity still isn't confirmation that two stories are describing the exact same situation. That didn't stop social media detectives from building massive timelines. They started matching interviews with award show appearances, studio sessions, label announcements, and public business moves, trying to figure out when certain relationships changed. In some cases, celebrities who once appeared regularly around the same circle were barely seen together later. That might look suspicious in a viral video, but careers, contracts, friendships, and management teams change constantly in the entertainment industry.
Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically. Davis has been his greatest teacher. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common professionally and privately: Sean Carter.
The more useful clues came from direct statements. Some former associates explained why they stopped working with certain people, while others discussed disagreements involving money, creative control, or treatment behind the scenes. Those explanations offer something concrete to examine, without inventing a scandal around every photograph. But one detail kept showing up across several different accounts: the huge difference between what outsiders saw publicly and what insiders claimed the atmosphere was like privately. And that gap is where another overlooked interview started becoming important. That overlooked interview shifted attention away from the wildest rumors and toward how power allegedly worked behind the scenes. The person speaking described an industry where access to major executives could open doors fast, but falling out with the wrong people could supposedly shut those same doors just as quickly. That kind of environment could explain why some former associates waited years before discussing uncomfortable experiences publicly. Still, silence doesn't automatically prove somebody was hiding a scandal. Artists and employees leave companies for countless reasons, including contracts, money, creative disagreements, and personal choices. That's why every old departure can't suddenly be rewritten as evidence of something darker just because newer allegations have surfaced. What became more revealing was the pattern of public statements made after certain professional relationships ended. Some people praised their time in those circles, while others later described pressure, control, or situations they claimed made them uneasy. Those conflicting accounts show just how different individual experiences can be, even inside the same organization. Then people started noticing another piece of the timeline.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy.
Several former associates had spoken about unusual industry pressure before Diddy's current legal troubles dominated headlines. And once those interviews were lined up by date, one specific period kept appearing again and again, the years when Bad Boy's influence was at its strongest. As usual, viewers had plenty to say about everything that's been circulating. One person warned that private health issues should be taken seriously and that nobody should treat rumors about someone's medical history like entertainment. Another viewer expressed concern about Jaguar Wright because of how publicly she has challenged powerful celebrities. But after everything we've covered, the biggest question is, what can actually be backed up? What do you think about Jaguar continuing to make allegations involving Beyoncé and Diddy? Do you think any part of these claims deserves further scrutiny? Or has social media connected separate stories without enough evidence? Remember, there is no credible public evidence confirming the serious private health rumors being spread about Beyoncé, so those claims shouldn't be treated as fact. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who follows celebrity news, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story.